That's right. Sales isn't for everyone. And, it was just a suggestion. Maybe you're more the creative type. But one thing's for sure, you've been doing what you're doing for quite a while and you haven't been happy for a long time. Sure, you've already seen this before. Maybe your guidance counselor in high school or your health teacher showed this to you, but this is not uncommon for life coaches to show their clients. And this is called the wheel of life. And typically, what will happen is a coach or a counselor, they'll ask their client, hey, on a scale of 1 to 10, where do you think you fall when it comes to your career? And where do you think you fall when it comes to your personal finances? And then how about your spiritual life? Where do you fall in your spiritual life and social life, family relationships, and health? Well, and then so what the client does is then they go, okay, well, health, that could use some improvement. I'm going to be, probably around a 7. My career, obviously that's, about a 4. And then finances, that's, right above the career. I mean, where our heads are above water, we could, definitely use a little bit more. Spiritual, hey, we're doing great. We're involved in the church. I would say that's probably about a 9. Social life, we're out and about in the community, and then they say, well, we're out and about in the community, quite a bit, and so I would say, our social life, that's probably about a 9, 9.5 maybe, and then family and relationship. Well, obviously, me being
And then what they say, and then what the client says, well, obviously me being, stuck in a career I don't like and not providing enough for our family, of course, our relationship is
or maybe you're a single person, and maybe finding the right person, attracting that right person to you, is highly important.
But until you get your career, but you need to get your career right. And you need to get
So that could probably use a little bit of help too. And then then it's shown, they're like, okay, so then here is your wheel of life, and what does that look like? How, if that were a wheel on a wagon and you were in that Pioneer wagon, how would that ride feel? And that would be so horrible. Probably the wagon wouldn't be able to go anywhere. And then the counselor, maybe we'll give the client that page of the wheel of life and go, okay, so this is your homework, this is your assignment, and so what we want you to do is, your social life is good, your spiritual life is good, maintain those, and maybe try to get those up a little bit. At the same time you're doing that, we want you to work on getting your family, increase your relationship, make your relationships with your family better, eat better, exercise more, get a new job. You can do it, and then work on your income. Stop spending, spend nothing, and then go get a new career. That way you can get a new income, and then make sure you keep all these plates spinning and don't let anything fall. And we'll talk to you next week. Well, the problem with that is how are you going to do that? How are you supposed to do that? Okay, so what I would like to ask, or have you ask yourself, so with the wheel of life, instead of trying to spin all those plates at once, and if you're at a 7, 8, or 9, and you've been doing that well, and it's been going on well for a long time, those areas we probably don't need to focus on. So what I would say is take the areas where you're really lacking in life, and let's talk about those. You mentioned your career. You got a mean boss. It doesn't align with your goals anymore. The work is tedious. You say you can't get ahead. They're cutting the bonuses back. Finances, the pay is staying the same. You haven't had a pay increase in a while, not a cost of living increase, and all the cost of everything around you, it just keeps going up. You have no savings. You're living paycheck to paycheck. Maybe you're in debt. Uh, every time you every time you get a little bit extra money, there always seems to be something that comes up, some kind of emergency that happens as soon as you get some extra cash. You get a little bit extra, the furnace breaks. You get a little bit extra, you pop a tire, or something like that. And then, you said money doesn't grow on trees. With the health, no time to exercise. You eat on the run. Good food is expensive. Can't afford the gym, and don't really care what you look or how you feel throughout the day. And then, so let's just take the major things of these groups that are really causing you pain. That you can't move forward at work. There's talk of them cutting bonuses, and it just doesn't align with what you want out of life anymore. And your finances, you're in debt, you have no savings, and as you said, money doesn't grow on trees. And then let's take the health. Uh, Good foods are expensive, gyms are expensive, and you have no time. And let's think about this, because I would like you to give this some consideration, that these aren't things that are what somebody else is doing to you. These could be, and just possibly, I mean, you're the author of your own story, but these possibly could be a set of beliefs that was given to you, or you adhered to at some point in time in your life. And so, what I'd like you to do is, I'd like you to think about those and maybe go back in history a little bit. Go back to as far as back as you can remember. Were you told that money doesn't grow on trees? Did you come from a household where there was always, always struggle of finances? Maybe you had a mother or a father who had a hard time holding on to their job, their career. Maybe there was some habits in your family at one point in time, and you were witness to that, and you held on to it. We believe our parent. We believe those that are closest to us. Our parents are the ones that teach us, but our parents are only teaching us information based off of their beliefs and what their parents told them. And so, something to keep in mind is all these different generations, they experience different things in their life, which form those opinions and those beliefs. And so, just think about this, because it was taught to me that opinions are changed easy, but beliefs are not. Beliefs are what is set in stone. That is what your upbringing, those are your ethics. Those are what your spiritual leaders taught you. The average human being typically forms their beliefs, their ethics, their teachings from their parents, their upbringing around the age of 8 years old. And they hold on to those. They hold on to them tighter than anything else. It's what they know, it's what drives them. And it typically will take a major life event to change those beliefs. It will take something happening throughout the course of your life or your parents' life, that once they believe something, they had a major life event and it shifted their direction. They no longer believe that anymore. And so what we do is we hold on. Our belief system is also called a paradigm. Okay, and the definition is that it's a typical example or pattern of something or a model. Okay, and so when we were little, we formed these beliefs. We formed them from our parents, our aunts, our uncles, our grandparents, brothers, sisters, hearing them, seeing them, watching them do things. We imitate them because we think it's the right thing to do. Most of us were brought up in a family where the money was the number one topic. Most of us were brought up and we were told that money doesn't grow on trees. Remember, our parents, the boomers, their parents lived through the Great Depression. And where does that phrase, money doesn't grow on trees, come from? They had to pinch every red nickel. Let's dive into this just a little further. We take those beliefs that were formed in us at the age of 8 years old, and everything that's happened to us, good, bad, or indifferent, from this current point of time all the way back into birth. Our hippocampus is our brain central memory bank. That's where everything is stored. All those good things, all those bad things, all the indifferent things. So then when we come across a situation and we don't know why we're acting the way we're acting, or we don't know why we can't advance, we can't get forward, we can't do the things that we truly want to do in life, we think that type of luck is only for a select few, people that are blessed, right, or chosen. Well, what happens is our amygdala is an almond-shaped cluster of nuclei that lays in the hippocampus. The amygdala is responsible for processing emotions such as fear, pleasure, or anger. It might also send signals to the cerebral cortex, which controls conscious thought. Signals are then sent from the thalamus to the autonomic nervous system, and skeletal muscles control the physical action. And when we're put in a situation that doesn't align with our paradigm or our past beliefs that we formed when we were 8 years old, it can set our amygdala off like a 4 alarm fire, and it can make the body act in irrational ways. It could set us up, it could freeze us up. Have you ever walked in to a situation and there was something going on and you didn't know how to react? You couldn't even leave. You were frozen in your tracks. That's because your amygdala is trying to process that situation to tell you whether it's okay to move forward or whether you need to run and hide. I have shared the amygdala with you so you don't beat yourself up when you don't think you can go out and do exactly what you want to do with your life. And also to help you so you can gain more of an understanding of the things that may be holding you back. Because if your career isn't where you want it to be, if it doesn't align with your goals and it's not cutting it financially, if your personal finances aren't where you want them to be, if you're in debt, you're living paycheck to paycheck, and every time you get some extra money, it goes off to some emergency, some fire that you got to put out. And if your health isn't where you want to be because you don't think you can afford the gym or you don't have time, in the land of the blind, the man with one eye is king. And from my understanding, it would say there's a deep rooted connection or a belief about money that's being held on somehow, some way, either through you or through you growing up, seeing your parents, or their parents growing up and learning from their parents. And those were just passed down the timeline. Because it's our goal to get you from here to where you need to be. And that shooting star that aligns with your heart. And my coach told me, if the heart isn't fully committed, a transformation can't take place. Learning more may not be the problem. You already know everything you need to do to be successful, but there's things we're holding on to that are keeping us from moving forward. If you found this video valuable, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Turn on notifications so you don't miss the next one. If to take a deeper dive into manifesting your other goals and dreams into reality and how you can truly use my 4-step system to get what you want out of life, take a look at these videos right here. And I'll see you over there.